Hey foodies, welcome into another video. Today I want to chase down a bit of a rabbit trail, and if you will allow me to, please, I beg of you, it won't make your day any worse, but it will make mine a lot better because I will finally get this off my chest. I've been meaning to talk about this for a while because I've just noticed this weird thing over like 6 years of playing the game that some survivors, you just see them every game or every other game. And in some of them, it's just remarkable when you see them at all. It's like spotting a cryptid out in the wild. You find the skinwalker, you find Bigfoot. And what I want to do is I want to look at these and I want to make two cases. Case number one is why they're unpopular, and case number two is why they deserve to be more popular. So what I've done is I've broken the survivors up into three groups. We're only going to talk about one of them because I'm not going to keep you here all day, and I'm not going to rehash the obvious. So group one is the ultra popular, the survivors that you see every game, every other game. You're going to see these people a lot. These survivors are, in my own anecdotal experience, Feng, Meg Thomas, Dwight Fairfield, Claudette Morell, Nia Carlson, David King, Kate Denson, Michaela Reed, and as a special aside, I just put Resident Evil characters. Now I know that not every Resident Evil character gets the same amount of play as the others, but I will say that they are all pretty popular, save for maybe Sheva and Carlos, who were just added and you don't see them just a ton. But overall, we're going to take this as one big package and we're going to say that they are very popular. Next, we move into the popular group, these being less popular than the ultra popular. And if if I got $1 for every time I say popular in this video, man, I would make like, yeah, I don't know, what, $20, $30, but we'll see. Anyway, these are the ones who aren't as popular, but they still get a lot of play. There is nothing shocking about seeing one of these survivors when you load into a game. They're not as common, but they're definitely more common than the group below them. So these are Jake Park, the only member of the original four that I would put here, Laurie Strode, Ace Visconti, Jane Romero, Nancy Wheeler, Steve Harrington, Yui Kimura, Felix Richter, Yunjin Lee, and Vittorio Toscano. Also, I want to throw in the Silent Hill characters here. If I was just factoring in Cheryl, I would actually put Cheryl maybe in the ultra popular, but if we're factoring in all Silent Hill characters, I don't know. I don't really see any of them that aren't Cheryl very frequently, especially not ever since they got rid of Gerald. Gerald was very popular, but Gerald is now resting in peace. Now we move on to the meat of this video, the unpopular characters. The ones who I just don't see very frequently. And now I do want to get out ahead of this before anybody runs to the comments and says it. Yes, people play these characters. There is no character in Dead by Daylight that does not have somebody who mains them. So it is not a good argument against my argument to say, well, I have a buddy who mains this character, but if you would like to debate me on these, please do go ahead. I've been playing the game a really long time, so I think I have a good, I guess a good feel on how this thing goes, but you know what? If you say, nope, I can't go a game without seeing one of these characters, then maybe I'm wrong. I am a lot. So please do let me know in the comments if you disagree, but with that out of the way, let's get into number one, being Bill Overbeck. We'll start with why he's unpopular. We're going to do that with everybody. So why is Bill unpopular? The big knock, I think, against Bill is that borrowed time is no longer essential. There was a time when 3 to 4 survivors were running this perk every single game. But now that BT is base kit, that's just not the norm anymore. You could also argue that he's been in the game too long, that OGs, meaning those who originally mained him, have simply moved on, because that is a thing, right? Eventually you're going to try out a new character. He also has very few cosmetics to keep things fresh, unlike the other older characters, and all of his cosmetics come in this drab military coloration as well, so that probably doesn't help. But why does Bill deserve better? Because Left 4 Dead deserves better. Those games are absolutely incredible, and Bill deserves love just for being a part of them. He's also a good fit for most of the player base, seeing as though Bill is a boomer, and most of y'all complain about DBD nonstop, just like a boomer would. There, I had to earn my dislikes somehow. He's also there for those of you looking for a gilf, so if that's your thing, this is your character. Next, we have Quentin Smith. Why is he unpopular? Well, Quentin's big issue is that the film from which he comes is just not very good. While Nightmare on Elm Street is undeniably an iconic series, the 2010 remake is remembered for all of the wrong reasons. It's like if Dead by Daylight finally added Friday the 13th to the game, but instead of what we wanted, they gave us Part 5's killer and a survivor from Takes Manhattan or Jason Goes to Hell. On top of that, Quentin's design is just meh. It's not necessarily bad, but it's not good either. It was better when he looked like one of Fallout's ghouls and you could walk around asking people like, where you going, smooth skin? But we've got to take what we can get, I guess, so it's not terrible, but his design's definitely not great. Why he deserves better? I don't know, he probably doesn't. But if you need a reason, Kyle Gallner, the actor who portrayed Quentin, seems like a cool guy, and he was one of the better parts of the film. He was also in Scream 5, an actually good slasher film, so that counts for something, right? No? Then I don't know. Just play Quentin to make Irv happy, I guess. Next we have Detective Tapp. Why is he unpopular? Well, while I appreciate behavior going outside of the box and choosing non-obvious characters, this one was a flop. Of course, Saw is pretty light on good protagonists anyway, so there weren't exactly a ton of great names to choose from. Still, Tapp was an odd choice, and he was probably just chosen because he was in the terrible Saw tie-in games, so the model already existed. Not to belabor the point, but if you were to ask someone what their favorite Danny Glover role was, nobody is ever going to say, oh yeah, that one crazy cop from Saw, I love that guy. Why he deserves better? Another one who maybe doesn't deserve a larger player base. I mean, not everyone deserves to be iconic, after all, but at least his perks are cool. Detective's Hunch is the perfect cure for those that can't shut the hell up about NOED, Tenacity is for kings, and Stakeout is for plebs like me who have thousands of hours in the game and still can't reliably hit great skill checks. And who knows, maybe one day Tapp will get a legendary skin that actually makes him a more fun character to play, like the badass Detective Carey or slow-ass motherfucking Jeff. Not exactly great for the character when I have to hope for skins that make him somebody cooler, but I'll take what I can get. Moving on, we get to Adam Francis. Why is he unpopular? Admittedly, it's kind of hard to understand why he isn't more popular. There's a lot to like about Adam, but my guess is that he's unpopular because his base cosmetics really aren't that great, and he doesn't get many new ones either. Adam's first impression was made while wearing a gaudy lab coat, and from there things just really haven't gotten much better. In an ecosystem where cosmetics are king, having a character that's drip-fed new threads is a recipe for undeserved failure. Why he deserves better? Pebble. Autodidact. I refuse to elaborate further because I shouldn't have to. Moving on, we get my personal main, Jeff Johansson. Why is he unpopular? Well, I mean, here's the thing. Jeff's perks, when he launched, were previously horrendous. Luckily, they now have been buffed so that they're just bad. Adding into that his metalhead aesthetic attracts a small crowd but turns away the majority, that's definitely a problem for him. Also, dad bods are kind of divisive. Some people embrace and love the dad bod, appreciating its glory to the fullest. Others have small brains and smaller teeth. And why does he deserve better? Because metalheads are really cool. They're just about the most relaxed, pleasant people you'll meet, and Jeff seems no different. The dude is a big softie who enjoys painting and hanging out with rescue dogs. So not to be dramatic or to misrepresent the point, but what I'm basically saying is that if you don't like Jeff Johansson, then you hate rescue dogs. Yikes, couldn't be me. Next we have Ash Williams. Why is he unpopular? I think this one's about Evil Dead not being as popular as it once was, despite the fact that, by the way, the franchise has never produced a bad film. And before you get mad at me for saying that it's not popular, keep in mind that Bruce Campbell, Ashley J. Williams himself, has echoed the same sentiments, saying that Evil Dead isn't the force it used to be, and that he and the franchise owners would like to change that. If you aren't in the know about Evil Dead's quality, Ash is just another character locked behind a paywall that can't even be bought with iridescent shards. Also, he talks in the lobby, and sometimes that's gonna scare the hell out of you. Why he deserves better? I shouldn't even have to say it. If I have to tell you why Ash freaking Williams is a legend, then I'm not sure where we went wrong as a society. Just go watch Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness, and then get back to me. Ash is a legend amongst legends, and much like the Hobbits, he bows to no one. Also, and I can't stress this enough, Ashy Slashy, the puppet on his hand, is the cutest demon in the history of hell, and I love him. Next, Zarina Kassir. Why she's unpopular? This one beats me. I've genuinely got nothing. There were some who I recall labeling her along the lines as something of like another SJW girl boss character around her launch, but honestly, guys, that is such a brain dead take. I'm not even gonna waste my breath fighting that one. If you're of the opinion that somebody having like short hair or something makes them into some kind of, I don't know, whatever it is you hate there, then, you know, I can't really I don't think I'm gonna get through to you. So if that's it, maybe it's not for you. Why she deserves better. Pick a reason, and you're almost definitely right. She's got an awesome look and some really fun cosmetics, like the penguin onesie. She comes from Lebanese heritage, which means she's the only Middle Eastern character in the game, at the time of writing at least, which is kind of surprising for such an influential part of the world. Also, off the record is a great perk, and For the People instantly puts 3 inches on the wiener of anybody who plays it. I should know, I am now up to 4 inches. Overall, she is a fantastic character to main, and if you take only one thing out of this video, it's that you should give Zarina some more love, because she really does deserve it. Next, we have Elodie Rakoto. Why she's unpopular? Another hard one to figure out, but my main theory is that Elodie was sandwiched between quite a few popular releases, and that left her out in the cold. Yui, Cheryl, Felix, Yunjin, the first batch of Resi characters, Michaela. She was released in a time where popular characters were being popped out rather frequently, and I think this hurt her. Even still, she is probably the most popular character on this list. Why she deserves better? I mean, look. A lot of y'all pick your mains off who you find attractive. And hey, no judgment here, right? If you're going to spend hours and hours playing as a character, you may as well like how they look. But if that's your criteria, then Elodie should definitely be in your rotation. She also has pretty fun perks that encourage different playstyles, and I do wish I saw more people using them, even if they're often not super useful. If nothing else, her reindeer onesie should be more than enough reason to play as Elodie. That actually might be the best cosmetic in the game for any character. Next, we have Jonah Vasquez. Why is he unpopular? Well, more than anything, I think it's Jonah's design. A Latin American character should have worked wonders. I mean, Jane is rather popular, after all, but Jonah stumbles pretty much as soon as you look at him. He's just Guy Fieri if he was fit, taller, and Latino. He's also a war criminal in his lore, which turns some people off for some odd reason. Gee, I can't figure out why. Why he deserves better. Well, more than anything, Jonah deserves better because I personally like it when behavior gets bold with their lore. Some people look at Jonah's lore and say, oh, he did bad things in his past, he should be the killer. Not me though. I like characters like Yunjin and Jonah who aren't entirely righteous themselves, but still find themselves in the survivor camp. It works in the same way that you have characters like Rin Yamaoka who aren't evil but find themselves as killers. It's a fun concept to explore. And by wanting all survivors to be good-hearted Boy Scouts, we are seriously limiting the scope of behavior storytelling capabilities. So I am all for Jonah and his suspect past, and I would definitely vote for him as the mayor of Flavortown. Next, we have Yoichi Asakawa. Why is he unpopular? Well, his drip isn't doing him any favors. While Yoichi is a handsome guy with a fresh cut, and while I am definitely a massive fan of fishing sweaters, the giant yellow Georgie raincoat isn't doing him any favors. He's also rather new in the grand scheme of things, and newer characters tend to have fewer mains, so hopefully in time he does find a larger player base. Why he deserves better. Behavior did a cool thing with Yoichi, taking an existing minor character and making him something entirely new. Like how the Friday the 13th franchise did in changing Jason Voorhees from a drowned goblin boy into an invincible, unfeeling killing machine with a love for out-of-date sports accessories. This is something I'd like to see more of in the future, and I want the devs to know that their work with Yoichi is greatly appreciated, at least by me. And again, I must emphasize, fisherman sweaters are they're just neat, aren't they? And finally, we get to the most recent survivor, Hattie Carr. The most recent on this list, I should say. Why is she unpopular? Well, for whatever reason, some people really, and I mean really, hated Hattie's design as soon as they saw it. She also faced a lot of backlash because previously it was believed that the anniversary event would always have some kind of big event, some big announcement, some license that we had always dreamed of but never were sure we could get. You know, in the past it's been Silent Hill and Resident Evil and Ghostface. So when it was Hattie and the Dredge, I think she caught some strays from that. Unsurprisingly, all of this kind of added up to make her a tad divisive and has shrunk the player base that would use her, I fear. But why does she deserve better? In my opinion, despite all that I just said, the haters can shove it. This is a great character design. The scars show tons of personality, the hair is really inspired, and the body shape is both unique to the game and cool to see. It's kind of cool that now we got our first survivor who is both part human and dump truck. You love to see it.
Oh my goodness!
Hattie checks a lot of boxes, and I'd suspect that over time she becomes more and more popular as a main, and if I were to do another list like this and say a year and a half, I don't think she'd be on there. But that will do it for me. I do hope you enjoyed it. As always, please do like and subscribe. We have just passed 12,000 foodies. I am blown away by that support. And if you want to support me in another way, please do keep in mind that I do Twitch streams. I haven't been on as much lately, but DOS_food on Twitch. Who knows? Maybe I'll be on when you head over that way. Check it out. It's a fun time. But either way, I do hope you had a good time today. I hope that you are having a lovely day. And I hope that you are not one of the forgotten few and that people appreciate you for all of your great qualities. We have this way of always assuming that we're not that special, that we are less than those around us, and I'm here to tell you that everybody feels that way at some point, and I promise you, you are special, you do deserve love, and you are valuable. You are not perfect, nobody is, but do not get down on yourself for your imperfections, because I promise you, you also have positive qualities as well. And if you work hard and you hone in on those, I promise you, you will be a person that you can look at and you can say, I am proud of myself. So I hope you're having a lovely day. Please do take care of yourselves, be kind to yourselves, be kind to others. And until then, I've been Das Food. Bye, friends.
I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon. Got a taste, can't erase bitterness in my